Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to the Soulmate Experience. I'm going to be doing your reading for the mid-month of August. So from now until the end of August, if you want a private reading, please try not to get me. Try not to get me. Not to get me on Instant Go. So in other words, don't try to get me on Instant Go. I don't know why I had to make that complicated. Um, because I'm having some issues with their system, not charging people as I'm talking, so I don't get paid. Like I did a 2 hour reading and I didn't get paid for it, and it takes them weeks to investigate. And I'm not really in a position right now where I have that much time to wait on certain things. So if you can get me traditionally, using traditional methods, then please do get me using traditional methods and, book away. But right now you can still call. I might answer. I'm not promising that I won't, but I most likely won't. And you can still send your one-off questions. I might get to them or I wouldn't, but that's the risk you would have to take. But as pertaining to booking a reading, like I said, I would much prefer everybody does it through the traditional method. Um, so I've never had an issue with that one. So let's get started with your reading, Capricorn. Capricorn, and all the steps to booking a reading are down below. I always forget to say that, and I get questions and whatnot. All the steps to booking a private reading are down below. Capricorn mid-month. Capricorn mid-month. Surface mind. The Hangman. So you might be dealing with Cancer. You might have a Cancer in your mind, on your mind. The Nine of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles, 2 9s back to back with the Hangman. You are starting to see. I feel like someone is trying to finally understand a karmic lesson about lonesomeness and about protecting one's own self, and to not pull from their obsessive energy of the devil, the lower vibrational Capricorn energy. Someone is finally starting to get that message here. They're starting to see a situation for what it is, because the Hangman to me represents stagnation. But more than anything else, what the Hangman represents stagnation in general to most readers, but to me, the Hangman represents enlightenment. When I always say the Hangman is when when God puts a pause so that the parties involved can look at not at each other, but look at themselves and see where they're not catching up, where they're not meeting up, what karma needs to be released, what needs to be healed. So the Hangman is talking about, and I'm feeling like someone here is finally getting a message about, yeah, look, I just said it, the devil. Capricorn, this could be you. Let me see what comes under the devil. The Fool, okay. And then let me see, the Nine of Swords, the Tower, 2 major arcanas back to back, and the Three of Pentacles. So some of you, it's going to apply differently for some of you. Some of you are liberating yourself from a situation. Could have been a marriage, could have been a long-term commitment. There was 3-party relationship involved. Some of you are needing to liberate yourselves. Could have been with a Taurus on Aries. But some of you, or Cancer. But some of you, there's a lot of major arcanas on the table. 4 of them. There are more major arcanas than there are minor arcanas. So this is definitely a karmic lesson. Others of you, you're letting your mind run amok. You're letting your mind run amok. You're questioning yourself. There's a lot of self-doubt, a lot of confusion as pertaining to a person, perhaps based off what the person has shown you before in the past about who they are. But I feel like there's change that is coming, or the change has happened within the person, and you will be able to work and collaborate, work with this person into building a future that you both want. For others of you, it's the other way around, where you're trying to build with someone and you need to free yourself from that, because you're not seeing that this is a karmic lesson and a karmic binding about being alone. Some of you have a tendency to stick to, and this is so Capricorn, you have this tendency to stick to things very strongly, and even if your needs are not being met emotionally, your needs are not being met spiritually, your needs are not being met physically, mentally, you will still hold on to something even if it's not for your highest good, for the sake of holding on to it perhaps, or because it's what you're used to. You tend to cling on, and you cling on to even unhealthy habits, and you cling on to unhealthy people. And a lot of you might have a breakthrough coming through. The energies are pushing you towards a breakthrough because where you are right now, you're not happy. But you can't go into where you have to go to, this new phase of your life, with all this baggage. That's what I'm seeing. Some of you are trying to move into a new phase, but you're trying to bring everything along with you. And no, some people are going to have to be left behind. Maybe a spouse might even have to be left behind. Something's got to give in this situation. Something's got to be left behind. You can't take it with you. It's too much of a burden. It's too heavy. You can't take it with you, and the universe is trying to break it down. Some of you are holding on, and others of you, but I feel like you're holding on because you're exasperated, you're anxious. So you might be holding on. It could be a mindset. It could be a marriage. To me, the tower presents a mindset or a marriage. And people say the tower is a sudden, shake-up. I don't think the tower is sudden. It might appear sudden, but it's not sudden. The tower is built up. It's built to last. It's built to stand the test of time. It's built up, So when it starts to falter and, fall apart, it's not something that's so sudden because it's been corrupted for a while. And when it finally gives in and crumbles, the crumbling might happen instantaneously, but the fault has been very present all along if people were paying attention. And you're needing to come into that realization of what this is. Now let's see the shadow. For Capricorn, shadow for Capricorn. Now to the end of August, shadow for Capricorn. I wanted one, I got two, I'll take them. 5 of Swords and a 9 of Wands. You need to protect yourself. 2 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. Okay, you need to protect yourself. You need to protect yourself. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You can't bring everybody with you. You need to protect yourself. There are people in your environment that do not want to see you grow. And they do not want to see you. And it's because it's not that they don't want to. They might be good people. They could even be your parents with the tower there. They could be friends that you've had for a very long time, parents. They don't want to see you grow. And it's not that they don't want to see you grow, but some of them consciously, others of them subconsciously are interfering with your growth. They're interfering with your ability to manifest. They're interfering, and you need to block them. You need to block them out. You need to create a shield and a barrier around you because these people don't have good intentions. The 5 of Swords is a lose-lose. And even if they think they have good intentions, it's like when you have this brilliant idea, for example, and you are excited about it, and you tell someone, and they're like, nah, that'll never work, and they give you all the reasons why it's going to fail. Those people that are just there to kind of they're like, Debbie, and funny enough, because I'm a Virgo, so I tend to be the one to do that to people. Like, well, you need to think about it practically. No, let's talk about this in numbers. Let's talk about this, I'm not one of those people to get so carried away with fantasy, even though I do, but I'm usually the kind of person that does that. And I tend to have this, but I always do it from a good place. These people, they're not doing it from a good place. Fuck what I said about them not knowing. They know. They know what they're doing. You need to protect yourself. They know what you're doing. You need to protect yourself. They know what they're doing. Knight of Swords. They know what they're doing in reverse. Knight of Swords, and they know what they're doing. Forget what I said before. The reason you're not moving, the reason you're not growing, and you know what's funny? The Knight of Swords is right there, and then we have the Knight of Wands here. So we have the 9 of Swords and the Knight of Swords, and we have the 2 of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Okay, so I'm seeing synchronicity in those two energies. So, the Wands are about action and moving forward. And even here, we have the 5 of Swords and the 9 of Wands. And it's like, what is standing between you being able to move forward and graduate this phase of your life and move into something or actualize something that you really want? Is this people in your environment? Others of you, it's you. It's your mind. It's you doing this to yourself. And you need to re-evaluate and reprogram your thought process and reprogram your mind so that you are not a blockage to yourself, because I'm seeing that some of you are actually doing this to yourself, this self-sabotaging energy. You're mind fucking yourself. But there are people in your environment also, for most of you will be someone external to you that is mind fucking you. You're being mind fucked, Capricorn. You're being mind fucked. Present energy for Capricorn. The King of Wands. I'm telling you, it's time to go. Like Queen of Wands, the King of Cups, the Judgment. It's time to go. It's time to go. I keep like your whole reading, and you keep showing up as fire energy. It's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. Those of you that are dealing with twin flames, soulmates, whatever you want to call them, I call all of them soulmates. You know, you can call them twin flames if you want to. I don't believe in the twin flame ideology. But for those of you that are dealing with soulmates, some of you, this is your soulmate you need to protect yourself from. And yes, I know, people talk about, oh, your twin flame will never hurt you and they will never do. That's bullshit. They hurt you all the time. They will mean to hurt you. They will gaslight you. Sometimes you will meet narcissistic soulmates. And generally, the runner in soulmate relationships is a low-scale narcissist, because they want to feed off you, they want to feed off your energy, they want to feed off your companionship, but they don't want to give anything in return. It's a self-centered selfishness that they have. And yes, on your part, you also want to get and get and get from them, and you take pleasure in the fact that you give and you give and you give, and you want to be present for them. But it's also a selfish way of love, because you're giving expecting back, which is generally how it should work. But doing certain karmic lessons and certain karmic cleansings and certain kind of relationships, that's not necessarily the case, So I'm seeing a soulmate relationship here where someone is coming out of the illusion as well of we're gonna come together no matter what. They're coming out of the illusion of the twin flame textbook, that keeps feeding people, the suffering silence bullshit. And I say suffering silence bullshit because that's what, to me, anything that overrides and says that another person does not have free will to be themselves or to make their own decisions that's pertaining to who they're going to spend the rest of eternity with. Sorry, the cups are passing by. But, anytime I get that kind of energy, I just call it bullshit, because to me, that's bullshit. There are two things that are real in this world and will always be real in this world, and those things are fate and free will. As pertaining to humans, those two things will always be real. Even within fated and spiritual unions, you do still have a lot, most 99.999% of free will. Those who understand will, those who don't, stay stuck. That's your karma. What else can I find out? External energy. Ace of Pentacles, the Death, the Four of Pentacles. Okay, you're needing to protect yourself. Again, I'm getting that there's a newness that's coming in. This Four of Pentacles is like protect your treasures. And the Death is like, I keep getting this. Other than, even if you're dealing with a twin flame situation or a soulmate situation, it's still talking about the transitioning period and the dying and the reformation of and the reprogramming of your mind to let this die and focus on the new beginning, to protect yourself. I keep getting this energy like there's something trying to come through, and I keep saying that there's all this action energy, fire energy of action and passion that wants to come through. But I'm getting, in order for that to happen, some people are going to have to be left behind. Something is going to have to be left behind. You need to protect yourself against someone or something. Like, you need to protect yourself. These people don't mean well for you, Capricorn. And I really hope you realize that before it's too late. Anyways, because they're like, literally your whole reading has been about actualizing your dreams, actualizing your vision. But and for some of you, again, it's you doing this to yourself. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. If you want to book a private reading, again, you can find me in the description box, or the stages to booking a private reading are in the description box. Thank you so much. Stay blessed and try not to be stressed. All right. Have a blessed one. Bye bye.